Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with the Demetrius Flenory Jr., aka Meech, and Myles Truitt, who plays B. Mickey. And we're here to talk about season 2 of the STARZ hit series BMF. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for having us. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Meech, I'm going to have to start with you. This is
Thank
such
you.
an incredibly interesting project because not only are you playing this legendary individual that everybody just is like upholds to this, it's like almost like he's a god, right? But he's your father. So
The
when you're
myth.
playing when you're playing the role of your father, do you almost feel like you're traveling back in time, like to sort of walk back in his footsteps?
I do. I'm
Mm,
I'm I'm a real like imagine imaginative person. Like I
hmm
picture a lot of things in my head, especially when I'm on set. And I it's crazy. Like the things that I do
hmm
that my dad has done. That they have me doing on set. Just everything that he did back being so young and having to be a grown man at such an
hmm
early age and just doing the things that he did, like people when you have understood or like so it's crazy actually putting it into life and actually seeing my work. It's amazing, and having my
mm.
dad proud and my family proud, especially just especially since this is my first time ever acting and you being a beginner in it. And I get to learn from my brothers like Myles and Russell and Snoop and everybody else that comes on set, just veterans in the game that get to teach me. So it's amazing.
I mean, I have to say I'm very impressed. I mean, obviously, it's not just because I've seen you. I'm not going to say the other show I saw you on, but you did a very good job on that show too.
Thank you.
um,
Thank you.
but it's just for you to be a first time actor and to be doing the things that you're doing. I mean, obviously, it's just this has been your calling. So I think that's really great. And I'm glad you're able to make your family proud in that sense.
I really appreciate that. Thank
No problem. And Myles, now I'm coming to you now.
Mhm.
Big Mickey, he's proven this loyalty to Meech, right? He did something that really showed him that he's loyal, that would make him not have to question him. But he seems very tortured by that decision, right? Because now you've got something else going on because something is being held over your head. So talk about your character and like he's really grappling with something that's very, very difficult to deal with because it's not like he doesn't have a love for him, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah, he's Detective Brian is doing a toll on my boy B Mickey,
Yeah.
man. Like you said, he's holding my mother's life, two, what I'm saying, two charges over my head. What else is to expect? I'm trying to get to your man's. And then it's like, what is to be Mickey to do after he just showed his loyalty to
Mm-hmm.
me? And in that, what I'm saying, and to that caliber, what I'm saying, to that degree, you know. So now he is in the middle of where should I turn him in for my mother, or should I keep this narrative going and see where it takes him?
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And that's where you're gonna see him, what I'm saying, going through and navigating through the stuff this next season. But yeah.
And I was talking to Steve about that earlier, and we are just saying like how sometimes people, in life, because I'm looking at this from just I look at shows not, I can't relate to drugs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I look at it from how you can relate to it in life, and you see how people can be very manipulative. So the way he's
Mhm.
holding that over B Mickey's head, like, well, let me make sure that your mother's comfortable. So it's like
Yeah.
once somebody does, and he even said like, well, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. People can be very manipulative. So it's like once they tug at your heartstrings like that, you can see how people get drawn in to do the things that
Exactly.
they should. Yeah. So, again, Meech, the relationship between Detective Bryant and Meech, it started off in season 1 like it was they had an arrangement, an agreement, everything was working out. Obviously, that's deteriorated. Now you're like public enemy number one. He's coming for you, and he's not stopping. And so I don't even know where this is going right now. I got to watch up to episode 3, and I'm just wondering, as far as the character development, what do we have in store that you can tell me about that's going on
you.
here? Because it's crazy.
Without spoiling it, I can tell you that our word for this season is elevation. Like the whole season, every character, especially mine, everything
Mm-hmm,
is elevated. Longer scenes, more action, more everything. This
mm-hmm,
season you guys get to see Reach. Really just in his full potential. You know, trying to bring everybody together.
mm-hmm,
And trying to make sure everybody is not trying to resort to violence and harm each other. We're trying to get money now. And this
Mm-hmm.
season is all about, him making that stamp and trying to get Terry back on board, since Terry wants to go do his car business and everything like that. But this season, just for Meech himself, is all about him trying to leave Detroit and expanding, making his business go further wherever else he can go. He's his own plug now. He don't need anybody's work. He don't need to get nothing from nobody. He's his own boss now. So now it's his time to go and leave Detroit and build elsewhere.
It's really quite interesting because when you watch the show or really pay attention to the story, there's nothing that would have stopped him from being like a franchisee for a fast food restaurant and have like 500 different locations. Like he has that kind of mind. You know what I mean? So it's just very interesting. Like obviously, life leads us down very interesting paths. But to date, he is someone that could run a Fortune 500 company better than anybody, that just kind of made it up the ladder. So it's quite interesting because like none of us could. Well, I'm not gonna talk about y'all, but I'm just saying I couldn't do anything on that level. Man,
a lot of people could.
Yeah,
very smart, very brave. Takes a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I was actually talking to Da Vinci earlier, and I said it's funny because a lot of the ways that people look at things is they kind of want to make it seem like me just sort of like the bad guy because he wanted to stay in the life, but then Terry at the same time wanted to stay out of it. But when the money slowed down, because it's like once you've tasted that kind of success, it's really hard to sort of just be sitting in the car all day when you can make money real fast. So I think that no one's really a bad guy or good guy. There's some really interesting things here that, we all make decisions in life. So it's just hard to say like, yeah.
Like, especially in the poverty-stricken community, you gotta look where they were born and raised. Like, literally, it's inhumane to live. Like my dad used to literally tell me, Koku, that him and Terry used to walk to school with holes in their shoes. It's snowing. It gets 10, 20 degrees in Detroit. It's the murder capital in the world. Back then, it was nothing but just drug-infested neighborhoods. He was embarrassed to even go to school. They had to wear the same clothes over and over. Didn't have any clothes. They didn't have enough money for food. Barely. You had to share milk. They show you that. We show you that in the first episode. Young Meech, young Terry fighting over the milk in the hot stove. It was just different back then. Like they lived a different life. Like couldn't even take a hot shower. Like it was just stuff that he used to tell me back then. It's like crazy. Like how could you live like that?
Yeah.
So I can understand his drive and hunger. His whole thing to tell me like, yeah, he loved God. He believes in God. And his mom, his whole thing is Christian and holy. But it's like God not gonna pay the bills. I gotta pay the bills. Like y'all want to go to church or y'all want to have a roof over y'all head. So
yeah, no, desperation will definitely breed some different decisions in that sense. I can understand that. So that's why I say I don't fault people because I don't know that. I can't pretend like I've ever had to deal with anything on that level. And when you do what you have to do.
Exactly.
I will say this before we wrap up. I was sharing everybody with this. I was in Atlanta, right, for college, and so I was down there as a teenager. And I'll never forget, like when I was down there, they had the BMF billboards and everything, and I was broke. I was not 21 yet. I snuck in the club, okay. And I will never forget, and I got to share this with you, Meech. I will never forget that all of I heard, BMF is in the building, all the drinks is free. I'm like, yes, got my free drinks. And I was in there, and I was like, yo, these BMF people are so nice. And everybody that's ever been around your family, they always describe your family as just being very generous, warm, giving. It's always about fun. I know there's another aspect to it, of course, depending on who's talking, but for sure. I just want you to know that anybody I've talked to, they have very fond memories. So I think that
you'll, Thank you so much.
I think that's a wonderful thing.
You so much.
Once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com. I'm here with Demetrius Flenory Jr., aka Meech, and Myles Truitt. And we were here to talk about season 2 of BMF. We're gonna have many more seasons to come. Everybody's so obsessed with this storyline. It was so great to talk to you guys. And season 2 is coming in January. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time. Okay.
Appreciate you, man.
Bye, guys. If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.